You're saying it one-sided. You're not telling the other side of the story on what they're doing either. You're not saying what Hamas did. You're not saying what they did.
What did Hamas do?
I mean, from day one, when you see the rapes and the videos, we've all seen it. This isn't something
What rapes and videos?
But stay on this here if you want to continue with this.
No, but what rapes and videos?
But my concern when you're saying Israel's doing it, you're saying the other side isn't doing anything?
No, but I'm asking. No, there was no rapes during October 7th. They've shown no rapes from October 7th. They showed no beheaded babies. All that was all bullshit.
I'll send you stuff. No, there's plenty of stories. It's not all of them.
The Israeli articles that I saw recently said that there was only 2 babies killed. One was shot by a bullet, and the other one died in a hospital. There was no babies in ovens. There was no beheaded babies. All that was all bullshit.
Okay, so go back to the part when you said they think they're better than you. You believe that Jews think they're better than everybody else.
Hey, what's up, guys? You just saw a clip with Dan Bilzerian and Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David basically just got caught lying through his teeth, and Dan just busted him. That's what this clip is really about. We're going to watch more of this. The whole point for me is noticing how Patrick Bet-David and Piers Morgan are basically, they serve the same exact function, and they even look the same when they lie. With that being said, we'll check out the rest of this clip, and then we'll kind of start picking them apart.
For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Is this recent, comments you're making about Israel a recent thing, or have you always had these beliefs?
It's more recent. I didn't really realize what a problem it was until recently, and then everybody was scared to say something about it. My brother told me, like, you can't say anything about it. They'll fucking kill you. Like, everybody basically said that I couldn't say anything about it. And actually now they're like literally like trying to like kick me off the board of my company because of those tweets. So like, shit. Yeah, I've definitely had a lot of like negative pushback, a lot of my Jewish friends, but I don't give a fuck. It's like one of those things where I know that it's the right thing. And the fact that everybody else is scared to say it makes me, feel obligated to be vocal about it.
Why do you think it's the right thing?
Because I know that they're a fucking parasite. Like, they provide the U.S. absolutely no value. They've done so many things that, would constitute, an act of war against us. I mean, USS Liberty, Lebanon Affair, I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on. But, I think they knew about 9/11. I think they had JFK assassinated. The first thing that he wanted to do, right before he died was, make AIPAC a foreign entity, and not allow them to have nukes. And then all of a sudden this fucking guy's dead. And Jack Ruby, who is Jack Rubenstein.
A couple other fun name changes, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, would be August Schoenberg and Joseph Levi, also known as August Belmont and Joseph Frey.
I mean, it's just like, and then I don't know, man. I can't ignore all the shit that they've done. They sold their secrets. Netanyahu lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. We fought all these fucking wars. My friends have died over there. And I just look at what they provided us with, and it's fucking, it's not nothing. It's like a negative, it's not, even if they just didn't do jack shit, that would be, bad, but they've actually done things to hurt us over and over and over again. So like this whole thing of they're our greatest ally is just complete fucking bullshit. And, we send them $100 billion, then they send AIPAC $100 million, and then they distribute it to our politicians, and every politician is a little fucking AIPAC handler walking around and telling them what to fucking say and how to vote. And it's just like,
the government takes your money under the threat of violence as taxation, gives it to a foreign nation. The foreign nation then uses AIPAC to give it back to the government officials who chose to take that money from you in the first place. For your ancestors, that alone would be cause for the kind of thing that happened after the Boston Tea Party.
Look, I'll donate like $100,000 to politicians, and they call me up like, hey, you need anything? Like every week. I don't need shit. I fucking sit on my ass. I don't do anything. I don't care. I don't fucking break any laws. I don't need any favors. Like, I just gave it to them because I didn't want to see any more fucking retard, Democrats in there. So, but that's 100,000. Like, what does 100 million buy you? How many fucking phone calls do those guys get? And so like, I just know how it works. And the system is broken. Like, these people get into office and they don't have very much money, and they get out of office with fucking tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not a fucking accident, right?
Is that an Israel thing, or is that anybody? Because China's doing the same thing.
China doesn't have they don't have an AIPAC. Like, Israel is the only one that has a fucking, like, a lobby in the U.S. fucking, giving these politicians money.
Okay, no, every country, the big ones all have lobbyists. They all have lobbying that they're doing.
Not in the U.S. They're registered as foreign entities.
Right. I mean, if you're talking about, are you going to the dual citizenship part with Israel, Israel?
That's another problem is a lot of our politicians have far more allegiance to Israel than they do the United States. I mean, that's a whole nother issue as well.
Do you know why they did the dual citizenship? Do you know the history behind why they did the dual citizenship?
What do you mean?
Like, so the whole concept of dual citizenship was because when Israel became a, country again, they didn't want the people from here who wanted to go back to Israel that didn't have a motivation to go if they were going to lose their citizenship here. So that was the reason why they did it. It was kind of like, okay, you're your own country. We kind of need some of you guys to move over there to help the country out. Yeah, but I'm not going to go. Why are you not going to go? Am I going to lose my citizenship here? But you are. I mean, we don't do that. Every other country, I don't want to lose my citizenship. Well, okay, how about if we do this? How about if we allow you, just Israel, to go back to your country, you won't lose your citizenship?
What's up with that frame of reference? Why would Israel grant dual citizenship? So if you're a U.S. citizen and all of a sudden you gained Israeli citizenship, it's not Israel that goes back and it's like, hey, it's cool, you're still a citizen of the United States. It's the United States that determines that. And so this is where the lie is built in this propaganda. It's on the very bedrock of the frame of reference. And here's another lie that Patrick Bet-David tells. They did not need Jews to come to Israel. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the population rise in Israel, and it's more meteoric than any other nation you could ever think of in history. So in 1800, you've got about 6,000 Jews in the land that would become Israel one day, and they're mostly in 4 cities in the Ottoman Empire. By 1882, it's around 24,000. By 1914, it's gone up to 85 to 90,000. 1931, about 175,000. 1939, though, it's 445,000. So you started off with 6,000 Jews in Israel in the 1800s, and by 1945 or 1939, you've got 500,000. And at 1948 in particular, they already had 650,000. So, but it's still grown again. So once again, Patrick Bet-David's argument is completely full of shit. And maybe just stop for a moment and empathize with the Arab farmers, especially as an American who in the last 4 years under Democrats saw our borders kicked wide open. Now picture what it feels like to be an Arab farmer and see the exact same thing. Only when that's happening, Americans and Westerners are like, no, this is like a theological fulfillment of Zionism. Just let it happen. Like, how would we feel if these people who were invading our territory were like, oh no, this is like a theological fulfillment of Islam, just let it happen. The biggest irony of all is that the same exact hand is pushing for extinction of both groups. But once you opened our borders, it's guys like Mayorkas, it's the Hebrew Immigration Aid Society, it's tech companies run by Israeli dual citizens. There's a bigger picture to be seen here, and the pieces don't connect on the surface, they connect underneath where it's hard to see.
That was the arrangement at the beginning why they did it that way.
No, look, I get it. I have 3 citizenships. You know what I mean? I think it's okay. I think
What's the third one? I know Armenia, but what's the
St. Kitts.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have an issue with dual citizenship. My issue is when somebody is holding a U.S. office and they are putting a foreign nation's interest before America's interest, and they are favoring that other country. And so that to me is treason. Like when you are a U.S. government official, your motivation should be to do things in the best interest of the government that you are representing, not some other fucking foreign country. And that's the problem.
Okay, so but go through it. So what is the solution? Meaning, if Israel's the enemy, then if let's just say you don't do anything and everybody in the Middle East unites to take out Israel, do you think the Middle East is better without Israel? And do you think the world's a safer place without Israel?
100%. It's not even close.
Okay, tell me why. Why do you think?
Give me an argument otherwise. Please.
But
give me one argument why the world would be better off with Israel. Let's just start with that. One thing. Give me one thing.
Have you ever lived in the Middle East?
No.
I lived there for 10.5 years. It's a very, it's not as like here. You can sit here, you can be an atheist, you can be an agnostic, I can be a Christian, he can be a Jew, he can be an LDS, Muslim, no problem. We can coexist here. You can do that in Israel. You can do that.
I mean, not really. They're operating apartheid right now. So everybody's not living equally.
Not at the level of Iran. Not at the level of what Iran is doing. I mean, in Iran, if you're thinking what Israel is doing out of control, do you know how much money Khamenei's family's made? Do you know how much money they've taken? They have 200.
I've never been to Iran, but I've been to Dubai, I've been to Saudi, like I've been to UAE. So like, and they're all Muslim. They seem to be operating fine.
I would say Iran's slightly different than, but go back to it. So, okay. So you think the Middle East and the world would be a better place if Israel didn't exist?
Yes.
Okay.
Israel's committed, so many terrorist attacks. They're stealing land right now. They're operating apartheid. They're currently committing a genocide on Palestinians. Like, do you believe in the genocide they're committing?
I think they're fighting for themselves and they're defending themselves.
Do you think that's defense?
Well,
when 1,200 people died, and of which the 1,200 you've killed and admitted that you've killed a lot during, your Hannibal.
I will tell you this. The part I question where people who are Jewish can't stand when I say this, I don't know how you, Netanyahu, claim you have the best intelligence in the world, Mossad, and you didn't know that on October 7th they're attacking
you. About it. They didn't. They wanted it to happen, so they had a reason to take that. They wanted a reason to take the land.
I totally get it.
And they killed their own citizens. And they claimed that all these people got raped. That was bullshit. They claimed beheaded babies. That was bullshit. Everything that they said was a fucking complete. Not only was it a lie, but they committed all those atrocities themselves to the Palestinians and been caught doing it. In fact, they just got caught gang raping Palestinians. How many babies have they killed? All the things that they accuse the Palestinians of or Hamas of or whatever, they're guilty of 100-fold themselves. And they've been doing that. Like October 7th wasn't the start of this. Like the start of this was Nakba. They've done so many different.
Disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not like, it's not like October 7th is like, it's all of a sudden they just came over there unsolicited and just killed people. Like they have been killing Palestinians for years and years, operating two sets of justice. It's like they have the justice for the Palestinians and the justice for the Israelis. And if you read the Talmud, like, if you're not Jewish, you're basically not a human. You're like, like cattle. If a Jew is killed by, somebody that's not Jewish, then it's the death penalty. If a Jew kills somebody that's not a Jew, then, you can't kill them. It's not the death penalty. Like they literally like segregate in their Bibles.
They're very protective of themselves. I don't think anybody can debate that. I don't think it's
well, it's not the problem isn't that they're protective of themselves. The problem comes when you think that you're better than other people and you think it's okay to lie to anybody that's not a Jew. You think it's okay to steal from people that are not a Jew. You have two sets of standards. The problem with that is it allows you to rationalize anything, right? And human beings are generally self-serving creatures. So if your fundamental religious belief system allows you to operate in such a way that you believe there isn't consequences to stealing from other people, killing other people, raping, kids that are under 9 years old, like if you think those things are okay, then, how are you going to operate? Because to me, like my moral code keeps me on track.
I don't think that's what it is. I don't think it's because you're saying it one-sided. You're not telling the other side of the story on what they're doing either. You're not saying what Hamas did. You're not saying what they did.
What did Hamas do?
I mean, from day one, when you see the rapes and the videos, we've all seen it. This isn't something
what rapes and videos?
But stay on this here if you want to continue with this.
But what rapes and videos?
But my concern when you're saying Israel's doing it, you're saying the other side isn't doing anything.
No, but I'm asking. There was no rapes during October 7th. They've shown no rapes from October 7th. They showed no beheaded babies. All that was bullshit.
I'll send you stuff. No, there's plenty of stories. It's not all of them.
The Israeli articles that I saw recently said that there was only 2 babies killed. One was shot by a bullet, and the other one died in a hospital. There was no babies in ovens. There was no beheaded babies. All that was all bullshit.
When Patrick Bet David said, hey, well, you're not paying attention to what the other side is doing, and then threw out a really emotional charge, if that had gone unchallenged, it would have undermined the entire point that Dan was making in the first place. It would have undermined his argument really fundamentally, and it's a lie. That's the thing. And the big takeaway here isn't even that Patrick Bet David lied or that he got caught lying. It's how easily he shifts into another mode as soon as he's busted. It's like as easy as breathing for him. But at the end of the day, he's just a propagandist that's specially tailored for the audience of people who are just like sick of hearing Rachel Maddow and all the obnoxious stuff on the left. He's there to scoop up that crowd and then kind of guide them like the Pied Piper into the acceptable narrative. And I think that's probably why we saw a lot of the rise, the meteoric rise in his popularity. It reminds me almost of like Lex Friedman, Sean Ryan, all these other people who just came out of nowhere right when traditional media was dying and this new podcast media was starting to take hold. It's like the propagandists were planted before that even happened. I mean, I don't know. If you think I'm going too hard on Patrick Bet-David, leave a comment below. But I think this guy's full of shit. I think that he runs cover for the hidden hand.
It says it in their Bible.
Okay, but you believe they're better than everybody else. Okay.
I didn't say they're better than everybody else.
They think.
According to their scripture.
Okay, but what if...
And if you look at how they operate, right? Like, they literally caught people raping Palestinian prisoners, and there was riots. But the riots weren't because they were raping the prisoners. The riots were because they felt like they had the right to rape the fucking prisoners. That's why they almost had a fucking civil war, because they felt like they had the right to rape these prisoners. They felt like that was okay because they weren't Jewish. So, you know, when you have a society that operates like that, you're going to have fucking problems. And they're not the fucking most moral army. That's all fucking bullshit. You know, everything that they say, it's just like almost like, listen, when somebody lies to me, like if you lie to me, I'm not probably going to trust you again. You lie to me a second time, I'm definitely not going to trust you. You lie to me a third time, and I let you lie to me the third time, I'm the fucking idiot. These motherfuckers have lied like 10,000 times. So, like, I don't believe anything they say anymore.
I come from a place of, I don't sit here expecting you to tell me 100% the truth. I don't sit here thinking, yeah, Dan's going to tell me 100% the truth with whatever he has in his life. I don't expect that from you, because I don't expect people to walk on water. That's not my expect. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to live it with my life, but you can't think that China's going to tell us the truth, or Iran tells us the truth, or US tells everybody the truth, or you think any country is going to tell us 100% the truth.
Once again, this is the propaganda of Patrick Bet-David. Dan wasn't saying that he expected people to tell him the truth. He was saying that once he catches them lying, he won't trust them any longer. Patrick Bet-David twists that into another statement entirely that's like, oh, what do you expect people to tell truth all the time? Like, you think people are never going to lie? And that's not at all what Dan said. And when he does that, it takes a perfectly rational statement by Dan Bilzerian. It makes it come across as absurd, as stupid, and it increases the likelihood that anyone listening is going to now dismiss what Dan said, when what Dan said was really intelligent. This is why Patrick Bet-David is just like Piers Morgan at the end of the day. Every response that he has is a deliberate attempt to obfuscate the truth and to guide you into a predetermined outcome. He has no interest in having an honest conversation, exactly like Piers Morgan. They are both just Pied Pipers, and the song they sing is the tune of Israel.
But I don't know, man. I got a different moral code. Like in gambling,
It's not about
but in gambling and business, like with my friend group, like you lie one time, you welch on a debt, you do one
You're
thing.
talking friendship, though.
I'm just saying, my friends, people that I know, people that I do business with, people I gamble with, like
it's the same thing I have as well. It's the same thing most people have. There's a difference between on the personal side than on the countryside. So you're America first. Is it fair to say you're America first? Okay. How do you feel about the protesting and the rioting going on in schools, academia, Harvard, Columbia, when you've seen all the stuff that's going on, Free Palestine, gays for Gaza, when you see that, what do you think about it? Does it do anything to you, or you're like, let me support them?
I mean, I think it's pretty funny that it wasn't a problem until it was against Israel. It wasn't a problem with BLM. It was fucking encouraged with BLM.
It was always a problem with
Bullshit.
BLM.
They fucking encouraged it. They let them burn down police stations. There was no repercussions.
Nah, I'm not talking mainstream.
No, I'm talking about our government, our media encouraged that shit, right? They encouraged it when it was BLM. Like, they literally burnt down police stations, and it was fine. The mayor came out and was like, no problem, no arrests, no big deal. We don't give a fuck.
Right.
Take down statues, destroy buildings, burn cop cars, do whatever you want to do. But the moment it was Israel, now all of a sudden,
why do you think
students get the shit beat out of them? They get arrested, they get pepper sprayed, they get fucking maced. And those are peaceful protests. BLM was not peaceful, but it was fine because it wasn't criticizing Israel. What does that tell you?
Let me ask you a question.
Well, we'll answer that. What does that tell you? Who's in charge here?
But you're talking to a guy.
The real trick with Patrick Bet-David is he's trying to get you to tell him everything while he's going to try to tell you nothing. He wants you to say as much as possible that he can hold you accountable for, and he doesn't want to be held accountable for anything, as we saw when he wouldn't answer that question from Dan. I'll let this play a little bit longer, but just listen to the absolute bullshit spewing out of Patrick Bet-David's mouth. Not only does he not answer Dan's question, but he just moves the subject along like a slippery little snake. This is exactly what Piers Morgan does.
That I'm not sitting here saying what BLM, I'm talking to you like you and I. I'm not talking to you with $2-3 billion of damage they did to small business owners in communities that African Americans are living in and who controls mainstream media. And there's only two outlets right now. We're talking to a couple of your friends here that were during lunchtime. We're having a conversation while we're having dinner with who controls mainstream media, the left. The only one that's on the right is one, okay? And that's also going to the left. Who controls CNN, CBS, ABC? That's left. Who controls universities? Left. Who controls schools?
Well, it's like 90-something% Jewish.
Right.
I mean, we could say left, but it's Jewish if we're being honest.
Not necessarily, because even right now, if you think about it, if you think about the right and the left, okay, who's taking the biggest hit with losing Jewish voters? Because most Jews vote left. They're not voting on the right.
Jewish vote is irrelevant. They're like 2% of the population.
But the money that they vote with their money.
I mean, yeah, but like at the end of the day, I think how much money goes into these campaigns isn't going to dictate as much as when you have a president that's like potentially getting assassinated. Like those are the drivers. I mean, Kamala Harris is a drunken school teacher. Like she can't even like formulate a coherent sentence. I mean, I don't know. The idea of voting for her just seems crazy.
So there you have it. You've got Dan Bilzerian. He's kind of turning into one of the key kryptonite figures for the Hasbara. No one's quite up there with Nicholas Fuentes, but Dan is doing a really good job of dismantling propaganda. And if you think I'm wrong, if you think I've got the wrong take on this, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe and help this channel grow.